Hey, what's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy Dean MV, Hoodz and Newz, and welcome to the Hoodz and Newz show. Right here, we got my guest Damo.
Yes, sir.
We got my boy Elway. I'm sorry, Genzel could not make it today. You know what I'm saying?
She a ghost. She a ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost emoji. She here in the spirit.
Ghost emoji. You know, big ghost Genzel.
Big ghost.
You know what I'm saying? I tried to be nice about it, Genzel, but big ghost.
Nah. Cheap key voice.
Oh, time, man. But how's everybody weekend, man? How's everybody's weekday? How's everybody's week in general? How's everybody?
Everything is everything, man. Everything's cool, man. I can't complain.
Hey, shout out to
Everything
Davey.
cool,
Hey, shout out to myself though. Yeah, I just did the most normal introduction I've done in history.
That was
the
least. We tried to switch it up because we got special guests here. That's all.
He tried to be professional. Oh, time, man. Speaking of that, man, Damo, you want to speak on that real quick, or you want?
Nah, we gonna let him see.
Oh yeah. We're gonna keep it a surprise. Though, man. So we're gonna talk about some DMV hot topics going on, man. Mo Cheddar and ATL, man, this week, man. What they about to do, man?
Who there? What bands?
TOB gonna be there, man.
TOB everywhere.
You know they everywhere. They tore Cali up, man. That was an experience. You know, I'm sliding down there for Mo Cheddar for them too. You know what I'm saying? You know, and
ATL.
For ATL, I'm gonna go support my man Yachty. You know what I'm saying? Long live
Shout out to
Go-Go.
Yachty, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support them. They shows got moved to Sunday because you know the weather and situation. But you know, I got my show with my man. Shout out my man Rob High Quality. You know, we got reaction to High Quality down there for the night. So y'all need a night move before y'all go to Mochella.
Shout out to Rob though. He one of the most hardest working men in the go-go game.
Yeah, man. People don't give him his respect.
That for years, huh?
Yeah, don't nobody give him their respects too, man. That's crazy, man.
So y'all show gonna be Saturday night, the 24th,
and then
Mochella gonna be that Sunday, the 25th.
Sound like the mood to me, man. Sound like a go-go weekend at ATL, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be live.
All the time, though. And a lot of people be giving it flack, though. Be like, why is Mochella at ATL? We supposed to be preserving it in DC or in the DMV? I be like, you know, that we sure is, and we are doing that. But I think at the same time, remember the goal was to spread go-go worldwide.
That should have been done. We should have been spread it worldwide.
So why not go on a tour and, you know what I'm saying?
That's the problem, though. We need to spread. Wings need to be spread. It should have been. Should have been like that.
Been like that.
Yeah, facts.
We had bands like CCB that provided radio hits though. New Impressions. What's the Mumbo songs? I think they only had like one or two songs though. I ain't heard too much of that.
Yeah, they was more like a commercial band.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But they had like a big radio scene. You know what I'm saying. But you wanna know what's wild? My brother, shout out my brother John. He sent me a YouTube clip. I didn't even know this. Northeast Groovers was the band that was playing with Tupac and Biggie. Wow. Out in Maryland somewhere. It's on YouTube.
I got a CD on my laptop where Tupac was performing. I don't know. I forgot where it was at though. Right. He did Dear Mama. He did a couple little songs.
Yeah. So it was like, I mean, I like how like. I think we got away from that for a while. Like bands and rappers used to like the go-go bands.
It was hand to hand.
Back in the day.
We had Nicki Minaj come to the Manor, Brian Manor.
Walker Flocka, CFE.
Well, we had a couple people come out here for
it used to always be like that. Every time Scarface came to the city.
Scarface, Devin the Dude.
Devin the Dude was just here too, man. Shout out Ron Dub. Yeah, Devin the Dude was just here this weekend. But he did a virtual
He did a virtual concert?
Yeah.
COVID edition.
Straight up.
I never knew that. That's crazy.
He got the auntie shaking in the
I think we need to get back to that though. I think when we had like more commercial promoters, they just started bringing the robbers and no bands on the joint. I'm not saying we gotta force you to do whatever y'all want to do. Like y'all do whatever y'all want to do on y'all own show, but it'll be a lot more respectful if y'all put a band on y'all show. Like if y'all do a Bliss.
Man, it's only right.
Yeah, to keep the culture alive.
Yeah.
It would help introduce go-go to the youngins, like because now the youngins looking up to the rappers.
That's all the youngins know how to do is this. That's all I see.
Yeah. they be looking sweet though.
They be looking sweet.
But imagine if they was in the go-go doing that though.
In the go-go doing that.
Yeah, like
looking sweet.
Yeah. Fact, shout out to them though, man.
No question.
No question, man. What's going on right here? Roland Ray versus Coley Ray?
Coley Ray.
You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't even tell you.
Miss Big Purr.
Miss Purr. Who's the real Big Purr?
Oh, what they beefing over that?
Yeah. Oh man, I guess Roland Ray.
That's what we doing now, y'all. I ain't about to bid on him though.
So
Shout out to him though. That's what we doing.
It's crazy.
What he put a
He's saying that he started it and she stole it.
man?
She said
we get a lot of stuff stolen from us out here.
We do.
So
I mean, I ain't look.
just because it's Rolling Ray, man, I don't mean nothing, man. Shoot.
You gotta do better, man.
And I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these females, these celebrities be saying period and all that stuff. They get that from Rolling Ray. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay your homage. You gotta give them respect. Respect is due, man.
You be saying that?
Huh? I mean, I'm not a girl, so I don't know.
I'm just asking, so I'm just
You know what I'm
asking.
saying? It's the what for me. It's the
Oh,
this, that,
man.
that come from Rolling Ray, man,
that
and that come
from
from
Rolling
DC. That come from DC,
Nah,
man.
we ain't about to.
The girls
y'all
said-
wanna claim that? Y'all can claim that. That's cool.
Nah, we got. I'm on the female side. You can claim that. That's their lingo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Rolling Ray, man. You know what I'm saying?
So what's this? The New Balance 327.
I didn't see them yet.
They look.
Can somebody put them up?
There they
Put
go.
'em
Bam.
up.
Ooh. Well, hold on. They look good.
Nah,
Nah, hold on.
Y'all can't see the background. Is that on the screen right
That's
now?
on the screen. They can
Nah,
see it.
at
Hey.
first they was looking good.
Hey, last time we was here, they brought the book out. I'm talking about the Tony Lewis book. That junk just magically appeared. I was
Now we got the
still
big
waiting for them
balance.
chicken nuggets to appear. Maybe if I can say it. But now they got the sweet jokes on the screen. Hey,
They was looking
You
good.
like
at
them, Jones?
we leveling up, man. Them Jones sweet. Them Jones sweet.
I gotta see him.
Now you gotta look at them in detail. They look kind of little cheap looking. I ain't gonna lie.
You talking about cheap looking? Can we get
Hey.
one more? Can we get that right one more time?
Like you gotta really look in detail. I saw them joints on Scoop Hole.
Nah,
No,
I ain't feeling them
I gotta
Jones.
see him in person.
I ain't
I gotta see
feeling
him.
them
in
I just feel like I don't like the texture of them.
Them Jones look like a
You said
lemon
the
boat.
texture.
Like the texture gotta be like.
That Jones like a lemon
Like-
boat. Them Jones wild.
Mom said the texture.
I gotta
You
see
sure you
like.
gotta feel a certain way?
Like they suede. He's looking for
Yeah.
suede Jones.
Like,
Suede.
maybe yeah,
That's probably what it is. You just used to New Balance being suede. I don't know. You gotta see him
My
on
favorite
somebody's
New
feet.
Balance them Eat Jones though.
yeah.
Shout out
Yeah,
to Malik, man.
them all time top. Them
Tops.
tops.
I wear them Jones everywhere.
Nah, I'm fast though, man. Nah, I'm a rock with those, man. Anybody been hip to some DMV music, man? Y'all been cranking to?
IDK
Oh yeah, that
and
nigga
Offset.
IDK. I never listened to him. I never gave him a chance though. I never really
IDK.
listened to
You
him.
know what though? Like I don't want
I
to.
see him everywhere though.
I don't want this to sound disrespectful because I don't mean it disrespectfully, but IDK reminds me a lot of Kanye West, like his sound.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that's an influence for him musically, but I hear that sound, I can hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like he got his own sound, but
Yeah.
I can tell like he got to be influenced by Kanye, but he like that. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Like he really like. I think his sound. He gonna be able to go further because it's like it's that sound. It's
IDK,
like a
that's a
universal
good man.
sound.
Yeah, man. Nah, IDK is definitely a good man. You know, I was in the studio with him, watched them recording and everything.
You was in the studio with him doing what?
studio, just chilling, cool.
He talking about just in the studio being a groupie.
Being a groupie
Ah.
and chilling.
It's like, nah, we ain't gonna do that to my
Nah,
man.
yeah.
Nah, I was in there cool, and you know, he's good, man. He
He
called
be
me
making
up.
his moves on the low. Ain't gonna hold you. Like he was with Pharrell. He making
alright.
moves with Pharrell. Like nah,
Kevin
he
Durant,
the
KD.
sneakiest. Like he really like making major
You
moves on
posted
the low.
somebody today, dog serving.
Yeah.
Oh, they got a little sound.
Yeah.
I ain't hip to too many new artists though. I see Q the Fool got the Rich Shooter jump coming out.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
he got that Rich Shooter gas.
Yeah, he got a strand coming out.
and coming out, and they got the new
Yeah.
tape. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I think Q the Fool gonna make a comeback this year.
He off that label though now, right?
Yeah,
he in
so
the
that's
back
all
line.
right. I think he gonna make a big comeback this year. Everybody be like he fell off. Yeah, the buzz went down, but I think he gonna make a comeback.
So now he can drop when he want.
He
Now
drop
ain't
whenever he
no
want,
lie.
how he
Young
want.
man, he just dropped he did two
He dropped two
remixes, right?
freestyle. He did the Cody Ray and the what's
Track
that
style,
one?
John.
Yeah,
right?
track style.
Yeah.
Ripped them giants too, man.
I never really got into the young man.
And shout out Thrill Black. He dropped the Debo video. You seen it?
That's
Yeah, I seen
funny.
that,
He
John.
funny
Shout
as
out to
don't
bro,
know
man.
what, man. Bro,
Yeah.
fool, yeah.
Shawty been doing shit stuff like that for a while now. Excuse
Nah,
my
for real.
language, y'all.
Yeah.
He been doing stuff like that for a while. He a character.
Yeah, man. Oh, Black Fortune and Money Mom World Star, man.
Oh yeah.
Word?
Yeah,
I ain't even know that was
released
the
the video,
website, bro.
They released a video today and stuff. And Fat Yee released the new album. You know what I'm saying? Southeast Gucci, man.
Oh yeah, shout out to Fat E, man.
Shout out to Yee. Hey.
Hey, that's all right though.
The whole time, man. Nah, definitely the whole time. Oh, how we forget about Big Flock joint, man?
What he got?
All eyes on
All
me.
Eyes
man.
on Me?
Yeah.
Big Flock been consistent. Him
Man,
man,
he
Lil
has.
Dog.
Who?
Yeah.
His man, O-Dog.
Yeah.
Not the comedian, but
Oh, I was about to say O-Dog rapper.
Oh, you ain't hit? You remember O-Dog?
No.
Look at my grandma, you dying. Look at my sister, you dying.
I be out the loop.
Look at my grandma and my mama, you dying.
he cut up with that joke.
I ain't gonna never.
His whole rap name was the O-Dog with the glick or something like that?
Yeah. Shout out O-Dog, man.
Nah, he be cranking.
No. Whole time. So now we gotta talk about some serious stuff right here. I hate to talk about stuff like this, man. About the altercation, man. So about a few days ago, it was a violent altercation between a group of teens in Dave & Buster's and was it the Ritchie Station area? I think that's like Capitol Heights.
Yeah.
Basically Capitol Heights, whereas a 12-year-old, is arrested for murder for allegedly shooting a 13-year-old, and also, another 12-year-old was stabbed, or another 13-year-old was stabbed in an altercation at the Dave & Buster's. Wow. And so forth. It was crazy.
That's not the situation when it was the brother's word. It was like something happened not too long ago where a brother stabbed his brother on accident.
I think that was around.
Another situation.
Yeah, that was a whole different situation.
That's crazy.
And I think now that whole Dave & Buster's area, that's like a hangout spot for kids. And I notice every time I go around there, I always see teenagers around there.
Right.
Most of them coming from like PG County, few from the city, but mostly PG County. And they go there. That's like they hang out. That's like the boulevard.
How the boulevard used to be like 06, 05.
Yeah, 07, 08. Like that was like, that's their hangout spot now. So, they be at that Dave & Buster's. So,
What y'all think about that though?
All I can think about, what was I doing at 13? It wasn't, I'm not judging. I don't know the situation, but I wasn't thinking about a gun at 13 or shooting one. I was thinking about wrestling. I was thinking about video games.
You talking about wrestling?
And video games.
I mean, he been real at 12, you know what I'm saying?
I was not thinking 12, 13. I was thinking about being the next Rock or Stone Cold. I'm dead serious. I still got
it all go back to the guidance. It all goes back to the household. Right. I mean, you can't blame everything on the parents, but majority of it comes from the household. It comes from the community around them.
That's true.
It really take a village to raise kids for real. We need to get back to that. Like not blaming their parents, or I don't know who these kids are, but it really take a village for real.
But it be wild though, cause like people be so offensive. Like if you correct their child on something, they get so offended. Like you know what I'm saying? You just trying to help, but they go on you. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of like make it hard. We definitely got away from the village raising a child.
And it's crazy because my uncles, aunts, and my mother, they always talk about when they was younger, we used to be here, and our neighbors used to be able to correct us.
Facts. Like
Jackson's down the street or something.
I remember when I first moved around my neighborhood, right there. I remember to this day, I walked outside and I was walking across the street, and just this one day, I always asked my mother, "Can I walk across the street by myself?" But this one particular day, I was 8 years old, and I didn't ask. I just wanted to walk across the street, and a car came up and almost hit me. And I remember this the Elm Street queen right here, Miss Winky. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Miss Winky.
Shout out to Miss Winky, man.
Shout out to Miss Winky. She said,
like
she was like, "Get the hell off this!" Like you could hear her voice. You when Winky was outside, because she was like the loudest woman on the block. She
was the candy lady too.
She wasn't a candy lady. She was just like the neighborhood grandma.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like the neighborhood mama or grandma, depending on how long you've been on that street. She was like, "Get off that road," and then she was like, "I'm gonna tell your father right now." And I was absolutely scared of my father. I real life avoided Winky and my father for like a whole week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, I came outside, like, 2 weeks later. I'm still going to tell your father you walk across the street.
That come back, but all that come back to giving these kids something to do.
Facts.
That comes back to giving these kids something
to do.
They done cut the rec center. Like, growing up, I grew up in a rec center. Literally.
Shout out Jimmy, man. We had he had put together a manpower joint, right? And we was having this discussion, you know what I'm saying? And our guest this here today, he was there on the Zoom, you know what I'm saying? And it's like we was mentioning that. We was saying we gotta find a way to get back to that, providing something for these youngers to do other than just be outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think that'll help a lot. I mean it's no way we can solve all the problems. It's impossible. But I mean, just giving them something and having them be somewhere where this is a kid-friendly environment, I hope that will help. You know,
facts, because this whole COVID, there's no reason why. This whole COVID, I don't know how much money I spent, not to put it on myself, but I kept my youngest tried to keep them the best I could out the streets. Every weekend we was having basketball games. I'm taking them, Coach Dom, I want to go to Pentagon. All right, bet, come on, we gone. I want to do this, I want to do that. There's no reason it shouldn't be like funding for this type of stuff, or just places for them to go. Where can they go? Even out Baltimore, I still spoke to my good man. When I was out Baltimore a couple years ago, they cut down the recreation centers like over 60, 70%. I'm not sure what the percentage is in the city, but where these kids gonna go after school?
And then now you seeing the crime rate, and most of them is with youth. Like
and they
most
on
of
the
them
front line. They on the front line.
16, 15, 13-year-olds. I think it was a story, last year, 11-year-old, like maybe a year before. I don't know. But like when they ain't got nothing to do, like I remember me, I was a good kid. I had a job and everything. And then once I lost that job and I ain't had nothing to do with myself, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd.
You combine the lack of resources. You combine the social media impact. You combine who these kids looking up to on social media. You combine the music they taking in.
Yeah, that's definitely
energy is real. The spirit realm is real. These kids don't know that they kids, of course, but all of that correlates, goes hand in hand.
And it's crazy. It's crazy how you just said that about the music though, because I remember we was growing up and they swear up and down the music don't influence the people influence the people and stuff like that.
All
Like now you grow up, you realize what the older people were saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You realize that now, and then like the music now compared to back then, it was bad back then, but now it's even worse because now some of these people, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's why we gotta start holding these artists
accountable.
accountable.
Like as a parent back in the day, a parent had more control because you couldn't just walk in the store and buy a CD as a kid because it had an advisory stick on it. Now they can just go on YouTube.
Well, I did have LimeWire.
I mean,
y'all messed up my computer too.
It's a generational gap between me and you, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little older, so like for me, it was easy for my parents to censor it because it's like, all right, you bought me a CD player, you got control over what I put in that CD player.
Yeah.
You know, I can hide the CD all I want. They gonna find that Snoop Dogg CD, they gonna find that Tupac CD, like, and break it. You know what I'm saying? I went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, really trying to. I didn't understand at the time. I was upset. I wanted to be like, you know, my friends and listen to what everybody else was listening to. But the whole time, like, you know, she was looking out for my best interest. Like, your ear's not ready to.
This right here. That. My first phone was a Nokia. I had to go to the 7-Eleven to get the minutes. Now, in my school, it's first graders with cell phones.
Free Wi-Fi, and they
free Wi-Fi. They got cell phones. They got iPhones. Like I got an iPhone. I don't know what I got. It's probably 8 or 9. I ain't tripping though. I pay my bill. These kids got iPhones. 30s and that them Jones ain't even out yet. They showing me how to use stuff. Like they got Instagram.
They know how to use TikTok. The kids stay on that TikTok.
They know how to work them out.
They know how to
and they don't know what's on them Jones. Parents, a lot of parents don't know what's on them Jones. You can censor as much as you want, but a lot of people don't realize what they exposing their kids to.
Yeah, no. I gotta be watching good. But good condolences to the family, man. Definitely, man.
So what's going on with this VA cop accused of planting drugs?
Fairfax County. This is like. Oh man, this shocked me, right? This didn't shock me, but it shocked that somebody actually got caught finally.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? And you know the DMV rule is, man, just stay out of Virginia. Yeah, like at all costs. You know, I mean, I do take the risk to go to Club 1, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? Damo actually took the risk one day, man. Yeah. Damo went. This your first?
That was my first go in like 3 years.
Yeah, that's your first VA go though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you ain't never go to the VA yet.
Nah. Hell nah. No.
You think you'll do it again? You risk it again?
He talking about risk it again. That job was cool. It was all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cool. I would. I mean, I ain't tripping off going to Virginia. You just got to be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, they say 40 miles per hour. You got to go 35.
So he had, I saw you posted, John. So he had over 400 cases of like falsified evidence.
400?
Yeah, 400.
Yeah. How do you get over 4? How do you get over 2?
He was spanking.
Planting
guns, drugs, everything.
All that.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, so he was off his Grand Theft Autos.
Ham and cheese. He was going
ham. And then that's including the DC firefighter. That
he just got. He finally his case got returned.
Yeah,
right?
He should be out. What's today? Monday. Should be out by this week.
No, today Tuesday.
You ruined somebody's whole life.
I hope he sue y'all.
Just, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand.
So 400 cases. So how many of those people still locked up?
Probably a lot. Probably the majority of them.
Yeah, so that's one person though. So think about the system.
Yeah, I just can't believe it was just him. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely not just him.
Man, it's a team.
That's Virginia.
He ain't going like that by himself.
That's what I'm telling you. People need to do their research. You need to realize how did the police start? Started off as slave catchers, things like that. It's a whole system.
Especially in Virginia.
It's a system.
Yeah.
So think about how many people locked up for nothing, for real.
That's Fairfax County. I know they don't play. They come get you from DC.
Straight up.
Straight like that.
Man, so did you see the DC getting ready to start back enforcing the parking laws?
So what you mean they starting? What you mean they starting though? Why they ain't never?
I guess during the COVID they wasn't giving parking tickets for the meters. I think this
shit. I had a couple of them jumps.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow. You might be able to beat them.
Man, I paid them jobs. I ain't got time.
Tags, no.
They spanked me.
Dang.
They need to though, because with all of this, like, I stayed off. They call it NOMA now. I'm trying to get used to that. They call it NOMA now. They building
that area.
the guy in that area.
Yeah,
So they building everything. Like it's high rises where high rises shouldn't. There's high rises where high rises shouldn't be. For real, it's like the streets like this, but what you get out of that is no parking anymore. Like my neighborhood used to be all black people, and now you got a whole street full of deaf people. Shout out to y'all though, if y'all hear me. That was a little joke, a little bit, but it's crazy though. Like. It's nowhere to park now. The metro's right here.
Right.
So, what you mean they just starting to reinforce this? This should have been reinforced. These people comfortable, like, just parking anywhere. Like, I want to know how the city going to look in, like, 5 years.
A rack of high rise.
All the wards. Like,
Starbucks
it's going to be crazy.
Every time a high rise go up, the Starbucks go up. It's high rise, Starbucks, Whole
Foods. The bike lane.
Or dog park.
The bike lane.
Oh, and the bike lane.
Right. Once the bike lane came, it's done.
Man, them bike lanes blow me, bro.
Yeah.
They just I'm driving, they just riding in front of me like it's not a whole sidewalk right here. Like, what's going on?
With nobody at that sidewalk.
See, when I was 12 years old, I was hitting it with my door. That's what I was doing at 12 years old. On some petty stuff.
Yeah.
We was doing petty stuff like that. Like,
bro,
get on the sidewalk.
I was riding by the trenches, right? I ain't even say where I was at. I was in Southeast. And, like, we had bike trails for years, but we never jogged through bike trails or rode bikes through them trails. I'm seeing people jogging through these trails. I'm like, times really have changed. Like, do you know, like, you might stumble across a body or something back there. You tripping, like, get out of there. Like, they just...
Oh, they be deep on them them trails.
I be wanting
around park. They be squad. They be.
I do want to get up and just jog at a bike trail, but
you want to go jog?
Huh? Yeah, I want to work. I've been working out. I ain't gonna lie. I've been working out.
Tell them how much you dropped with the keto.
Huh? I dropped 25 pounds, y'all.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Clap it up.
3.5 weeks, almost a full month. 25
pounds.
He
tried to like me in a couple months.
Okay.
All right. Though, man.
Shout out, man.
Oh, tell me, yeah, cool.
So what's up with this J&J vaccine causes blood clots? I know we went over it a little bit last week.
Yeah.
It's something else that just happened?
No,
yeah.
I don't.
They said the Johnson & Johnson vaccine causes possible herpes.
No, I don't think that's what they said.
No, you got fact check that. We ain't about to say that.
I swear, I saw it. No,
that's not what they said.
Listen. Go ahead. Let me go to the story, though.
He talking about what they about to say. It causes HIV. That.
No. Let me go.
Bruh, they said that they trying to connect herpes outbreak with COVID, not the vaccine.
Oh, you talking about the actual COVID? All right, shoot, I messed it up.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. That was the story. Yeah. Thank you, Elway.
Come on, man. Don't start no rumors, man. You got a big platform, bro. You can't be putting rumors out there like that.
Nah, you gotta fact check. But what I did see was, last week we talked about how it causes. It's been cases with like brain hemorrhages, brain swelling, blood clots, of course. But a lady just come to find out, like her skin was peeling off or something.
Yeah, it was like really red.
She probably was getting too much vitamin D or something.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That something was messing her up.
Yeah, facts.
But that vaccine,
this is with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They actually said the FDA actually told Johnson & Johnson, y'all can't make no more vaccines.
Real?
Yeah, they cut them.
Good.
That's what.
But that's the only vaccine that's been approved by the FDA. None of the other ones were approved by the FDA.
Hold on, so the Pfizer Jones not approved by the FDA?
I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so.
Wow. I think they had.
I don't think none of them. That's the only one that was. I'm gonna fact check it though. We gonna come back to it, but I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah, man. Dang.
First of all, nobody's told me who Johnson & Johnson is.
We still ain't find that out. I was looking at the comments too. Ain't nobody know.
Black people, we ain't doing that. You hear me?
If they get sued for baby powder, why you think we going
baby powder?
They got sued for baby powder.
They gonna have the commercial.
So you want to?
Look, don't you know the commercial come on? It was like, have you used Johnson & Johnson baby powder? You may be due to compensation.
You lose your leg off of you.
It was actually I saw that. So
like
that's
10
crazy.
years from now. All babies gonna be coming out with one toe or something.
They got
20,
crazy.
2050, man. If you
they
had
got
Johnson baby powder, you might get paid.
You might get paid
But
$1 million. You can't even use that $1 million.
They can't even use it.
They ain't got no arms. They ain't got no back.
Everybody out here walking around like the hills have eyes and stuff.
It's all for baby powder.
Look at all some baby powder or vaccine.
But for real, they really got sued for billions though, and won. And the dude won though.
Oh yeah,
they really won.
Oh, they up.
I think it was like a joint suit, like because I guess the baby was coming up with these real bad infections off the baby powder. It was crazy, man. You know, so like my point is that is if they get sued over some baby powder, what you think? You think they're gonna be able to have a vaccine for the world?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
But if you, it's your decision though. We're not saying don't take the vaccine. Everything is your decision though.
Yeah,
Not saying I wouldn't take it. Who knows in the future though? But
because what they're doing though is this is the scary part. They're pairing the vaccine with being able to attend certain things. Like I seen the 3 historically black colleges in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. They saying in order for you to come back to campus, you gotta take the vaccine.
Oh, that's crazy. Morgan State, we not doing that. Don't do it.
So
nah, that's crazy. I know it was a volcanic eruption. I forgot what.
They were saying if you didn't have the vaccine, you couldn't leave the island.
You can't leave the island. Like
I didn't know if that was true or not, but I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that everywhere.
That was crazy.
It was true. That's crazy though.
Hold up, Vonda came where?
Huh?
Around where?
What did you say?
He said, nah, where we at? Nah, you said the volcano reaction.
So a volcano erupted, and the island said the people who are on the island, like the president or somebody, it may not be the president. I'm gonna fact check that, but they said in order to leave the island, you had to have the vaccination, and you have to leave the island through a boat to go to the next island.
Wow.
It's crazy. And while the dude was giving that speech, he was crying. Like the leader of that island, he was crying and all that because he probably knew.
That's crazy.
Wow. But on to the next, man. So rest in peace, Black Rob.
Oh, man.
Like, whoa. Dang, we lost DMX and Black Rob. Yeah, man. Y'all see the picture there, man. Black Rob was like that, though. I know a lot of people.
Make this money. Take this money.
With the Harlem Shake.
That was like the Harlem Shake anthem right there. Like,
was it?
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but Black Rob got a certain CD. I'm about to look it up right now. That was just crazy. Life Story. I remember listening to that not too long ago. It got a lot of little hits on that joint. That's like you gotta really listen to it, take it in though. Mm-hmm. Well, shout out to Black Rob, man.
Black Rob. Yeah, I think he been sick for a while though. He been fighting.
Yeah, they said he had like a kidney failure.
Yeah, he been fighting for years. Yeah. Like he been fighting for years, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was real big on you know, that bad boy shit, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. So
well, shout out to them, man. Shout out to DMX, Black Rob.
Damn, we lost 2 legends, man.
Two. And that's why we gotta appreciate these legends while they're here, man.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Appreciate them.
Yeah, nah, definitely.
But to get to the DMV and Global Sports, man, I was blessed to be able to be out of town this weekend. So next year I'm gonna be coaching at Friendship Tech Prep. It's in Southeast Milwaukee Avenue. So right now I got the honor of learning under legendary coach, one of the best coaches, trainers, players, Coach Shaq, Dwayne Shackelford. So shout out to Coach Shaq, man. So we got an 8th grade team. He got the 8th graders that's coming to the school next year. He put together his own program called What It Takes Basketball. It's also training. He does training under that as well. But the 8th graders coming up. He also has a high school team too, though, for that. But the 8th graders that's coming up, we were in, where were we? We were in Virginia Beach. Shout out to Marquee Hoops. So we were there. Y'all see that right there. Shout out to Coach Shaq. And the kids did pretty good. We took away, we won one, lost one, but at the end of the day, it's about the lessons. And they had fun, man. And one thing about, man, Coach Shaq, he one of the greatest because he really built these kids up mentally, physically, spiritually, all that, but he tough with them. And that's one thing I really appreciate. It's like these kids from the trenches, most of these kids from Southeast D.C., Northeast D.C. kids, from the area he grew up in. And it's just, it's a great thing, man. We really giving back to these kids. These some talented kids. And the best thing about it, these kids work hard, like 2, 3, 4 times a week in the gym. Not just doing a little BS training, like really putting the work in. Yeah. Blood, sweat, and tears, an hour, 2 hours, man. So shout out to Coach Shaq, Friendship Tech Prep, Southeast DC. Shout out, man.
A positive black role model is priceless, man.
Man, I'm 29 and I'm learning so much from this man. Like, if y'all know me, y'all know how I take this coaching stuff. So it's really a honor to be able to learn from Coach Shaq, man. So shout out to Coach Shaq, the Friendship Tech Prep. Shout out to Coach Reggie. He's the girls' coach, head coach at Anacostia High School. They just won the championship this past year. Okay. Shout out to Coach Reggie and Coach Shaq, man. I really appreciate them because without them, I wouldn't even be in a situation where I am to be able to learn. So shout out to y'all, man. And also this weekend, I'll be April 24th. My good man Jimmy and Akil Carr, they have an event going on called Jimmy Little Guard, Big Guard Clinic. The Crime Stopper Akil Carr from Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to Baltimore, Morgan State finest. right here. And Jimmy Jenkins, the mayor. So it's a skills and drills this Saturday, April 14th. Session 1 is ages 5 through 8 from 9 to 11. Session 2, ages 9 through 12 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And session 3 is ages 13 through 17 from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So it's going to be lit for the youngest, man. Boys and girls. You can click the link in Jimmy's bio or Kill Car's bio. Jimmy's bio is DC's_son. And the Kill's Cars is official_Kill Car page. So go get that, man.
All right.
So yeah, so next, coming up after this, we got a special guest for y'all, man.
After our
Very
commercial
special.
break,
Very
we got
special.
commercial break.
Very special.
You know, we had our first guest was
Jimmy and
then
E-Class.
E-Class, young E-Class, y'all.
So this is the first guest for season 2, the new studio, all of that, man. So stay tuned, man. We coming back at y'all, man.
All right.
All right, man, it's your boy Dan V. Hoodz and Newz, and we got a special guest right here.
Yes, sir.
This is Trayon White.
Sir,
How you doing, sir?
I'm blessed, man. How you?
Doing
How
good,
doing, man?
good, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, it's finest, man. So, you know, we got a couple questions for you, man. First and foremost, we appreciate you being here, man.
I appreciate you all having me, man.
No question. This is one of the good men. Like, I look up to him, Jimmy. I done had the pleasure of being on his campaign team, helping him out, and just being in the trenches with him and just seeing the work. Like, a lot of people talk about that work, but to actually see him during this whole COVID, passing out, I'm helping him pass out groceries, and he driving himself, getting out, speaking to everybody, not just 1-2 people, everybody, little kids coming by as he's speaking to them. So it's really an honor for real, because he don't think, he's not like he's a superhero in a way, but he's not. He don't look at himself like that. He's so down to earth. So I really appreciate you being you and just being humble with it.
man.
All heroes don't wear capes, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Nah,
For real.
And the thing about it, though, is like, you know, his focus is on Ward 8, but he show love for the whole city.
To the whole city,
The
man.
whole city, man.
Appreciate that, man.
That's definitely that. So, you know, first I want to know a background about yourself. You grew up in Southeast.
Grew up in Southeast Washington, D.C., man. Born and raised Southeast, going to Greater Southeast. Graduated from Frank W. The Ballou Senior High School.
Shout out to Baloo,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Went to college. Came back. Coached Little League football for 9 years in Southeast, man. Just one of those, you know, incredible stories that came from nothing, really. Just trying to become somebody. Didn't want to get caught up in the streets. Didn't want to be another statistic. And so I had some opportunities I took advantage of early on, and it panned out for me in the end.
Yeah, facts,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, facts.
So what got you into politics? Like, I know that's not usually, nobody really grows up to say,
Yeah.
I want to be a politician. I want to be a
Yeah.
council member. So what got you into politics and why?
It was strange. I always believed that the seeds to your future is cast in your past, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was always in SGA in high school. I went
Yeah.
to Tech World before I went to Ballou, and I was in the SGA and Tech World and Ballou, and I was always like a leader, right?
Yeah.
I played basketball from I played varsity from 10th to 12th grade, so I was always in leadership roles, and I really got in politics because Mr. William Lockhart, who was on the State Board of Education, then called the school board in Marionberry, actually was organizing some community groups in the community, and we had that mass shooting. I don't know if y'all remember on South Capitol Street.
Oh yeah, I remember that
I
early.
think it was 2010,
Yeah,
and
I
I
remember
was
that.
organizing the community during that time. And Mr. Lockhart started really taking to me and pouring in me and talking about politics with me. He was saying everything I was doing was political. I was like, nah, I'm from the streets, man. I ain't into politics. My job is to hold the politicians accountable.
Yeah.
And I was in the activism space, but I learned a lot more from Marionberry about how to leverage that to get more resources back to the community. And we talking about a government with $17 billion in the budget. So. Yeah, so I ran for office, a school board. Ran for council member the first time I lost.
Yeah.
And I ran again and won. But I believe that the power lies in the people.
That's tough. And he said he ran once and lost. Because one of my favorite sayings is, where there's no struggle, there's no progress.
Frederick Douglass, man.
Yep.
Question.
Yeah, facts. I think one time I remember the first time I seen you like a picture of you on Facebook, and I just saw a dude with dreads. I'm like, dang, he look like somebody that I grew up around the corner with. You know what I'm saying? And you out there doing like, oh yeah, this is somebody I can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not from that side, I'm like, I can relate to this guy.
Yeah, but one of the first things that people told me, my camp, was cut my hair.
Really?
And I thought about that. It was like, you want to be a council member, you need to. Well, at the time, it was school board, you should cut your hair. And I thought about like, dad,
Try to
I
fit
should
you
cut my
into a
hair,
box.
if I want to progress in life. But I was like, nah, I'm going to stay true to myself because I was in the school where I filed a lawsuit against the school because they tried to make me cut my hair before.
That's all
and,
right.
I was like, man, if people can't accept me for who I am, then I don't need to be the council member because I go in somebody I'm not or don't feel comfortable, then who knows whatever compromises I make down the road because of the political pressure. And so I stayed true to what I felt like I needed to do. And the rest
And I
is
know
history.
that political pressure is like, that's a whole nother.
Facts.
That's
Damn
what
if you
another
do, damn
reason I
if you don't.
salute you. Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facts.
So speaking of, you just bought a Marionberry. Is it true that you worked with Marionberry, and how did that come apart, and what was that experience like?
It was amazing, man. One of the greatest humans I ever met, even outside of politics. Like he had a unique spirit about him. And people know Marionberry, the mayor, but I knew Marionberry as the mentor, as the friend. Like people used to cross Marionberry, right? Viciously. His friends. We had one, I'm not gonna mention his name. He actually crossed Marionberry, and then after that, we got into this whole big thing with him. A couple of months later, Marionberry helped him get a job, and I was like,
Wow.
He said you'd have no common enemy, only common interests. And I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Because we from the streets. We like, man, you crossers, it's on. We ain't messing with you no more, you out.
Yeah,
You know what
cut
I'm saying?
him off.
Make an example out of you because you crossed it. But Marionberry was not like that. He couldn't carry a grudge across the street, man. And that's just true who he was. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's mayor for life
Yeah.
right there, man.
Mayor for life, man.
And that's crazy because his legacy will live on years and years from now. And I kind of see you in that mode, not to put you on his pedestal. I know it's a big shoes to fill,
Man.
but that's something big for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the people. Like I always tell them, they probably wasn't born yet. But I remember when he was running for mayor. I think this when he came home, and he literally went door to door in Southeast, and was hugging people, shaking hands. Like you don't really feel like you don't get a chance to meet mayors and be. You know what I'm saying? You just see politicians on TV. But he was like of the people, for the people. He really showed that love. He wanted you to feel like, look, I love y'all. I'm with y'all.
And he believed that. Like one time we was in CVS, and I was like, damn. We was just talking because I used to be with him a lot. Him and Chris. And I was like, damn, MB, you can't go nowhere. You like a celebrity. He said, I am a celebrity.
Yeah.
And he felt that. He felt like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, well, you are. So, yeah.
It's all right.
So what's the biggest thing you learned from him, though?
One of the biggest things I learned from MB, he taught me, man, you are who you think you are.
You
Right.
are who you think you are.
Yeah, because, he came during a time we faced a lot of criticism from people around the world, and he was able to pick himself back up and become that leader who he felt he was prior to him being incarcerated. and he always used to say, as long as the lion tells a story, he'll always be the king of the jungle. He always just say that. And I remember one time visiting him. He was in Howard Hospital, and he was real sick. And he called for me, told me to come up there, and I went up there, and I saw him. He wasn't looking good, wasn't feeling good, and I felt like this was gonna be the last time. You know, he had been sick often when the public didn't know. And so but this time right here, I went to go see him, and I came back the next day because I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could. And he was in the hallway, walking through the hallway, kicking his legs up, and I was like, damn, he didn't came like. MB, you doing good? He was like, I'm feeling better than ever. I was
Turned
like,
up.
within a matter of a day, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, come on, man, you got the robe on, bro. You know, and we joked around, but he was able to. He had that willpower that was undeniable within himself. And so when he finally passed away, I really couldn't believe it for a minute. I went to the hospital. I saw him I saw him in the hospital when he was gone. Shared my last thoughts with him and everything, but it still took a while for me to resonate because I seen him going down so many times, but he always rose up. So yeah, I learned a lot from that great man right there.
Yeah, man, definitely condolences to the
Yeah.
family, man.
Definitely.
Buried, man. Definitely right here. So man, we're gonna talk about this discussion right here, man. What's your thoughts to the history of the violence in DC? You know what I'm saying? And then like, what you think you probably be to solve it?
Yeah, so man, we've been facing some devastating times in the district, man, to say the least, man. Even today, I saw we had two young ladies shot today, and someone else shot northeast and northwest.
Yeah, I saw that
then
story.
I just got the alert on my phone that someone just got shot on South Capitol about 15 minutes ago, so I got to check on that when I jump off here.
Wow.
I've been here through the 80s and 90s. You know how it was back then, guys. And we had, when DC was a murder capital, but I never saw this many. This rate of violence on women and kids, man.
Definitely.
From Davon McNeil to Micaiah Wilson, and the list goes on and on, right? Yeah, and then we're seeing this getting younger and younger. But to me, I feel like this was by design. I heard early on the show when you guys was talking about the recreation centers you went to and how you was engaged as youth, and I seen how it's been a divestment. And youth and young adult services in the district. Like I grew up at number 11 Boys and Girls Club. You talk about Dwayne Shackelford. Shaq came up with number 11. He used to shoot 3-pointers from the half-court line. He was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I watched Shaq go to Allegheny, then go to USC. Yeah. But we had that camaraderie. We had that safe space. Hot red clothes, old red clothes, Ketchum red clothes, blue red clothes, Anacostia red clothes.
Wow.
Number 11 Boys and Girls Club clothes. Yeah. You can go down the list. PR Hurst red clothes. You can go down the list.
And that was just one ward.
Fort Gravel red clothes. And that's just in Ward 8.
Crazy.
That's just one ward.
And you wonder why the kids running around with no structure, no guidance.
Nothing.
And the blind leading the blind because it's by design. I'm telling you what I've seen over the last 12 to 15 years in the district, man. So my job is to restore that order. And just to let you know, we're building 4 new recreation centers in Ward 8, one in Douglas.
We got to clap
that
for that, man. That's all right,
yeah, so we making some tremendous strides, but we so far behind.
Yeah.
We doing one in Anacostia behind Ketchum, one in Congress Heights behind MLK Elementary, and one's going to be done by KIP, which is also going to be a partnership with DPR up Furby Hope up Highland. And we're looking to do a few more as we grow, man, because we got to create safe spaces and opportunities to get mentors and sports and careers. We don't just want to do sports. Yeah. We want to teach people how to do stock market. We want to teach the kids how to do even e-gaming is going to be a part of it. We're going to have a bowling alley, a movie theater, e-gaming, and some of the rec. So STEM, absolutely. So we are using innovation and technology to go to the next level with these recreation centers.
It's major.
Yeah, major. Yeah, I'm glad you brought about education and different things. What about home ownership as well?
Man, for me, those who may not know, I've owned 3 properties in the district. I bought my first property when I was 25 years old.
That's all right.
And it was a struggle for me. I was going through a divorce. And I bought the property, and it's one of the greatest investments I've ever made in my life. I bought it at $200,000. I go to closing soon, and the house will be selling for well over $450,000, right? And you're talking about the equity I got out that house from making that decision when I was 25. I bought another property, it's a piece of land through a tax auction, and I bought a house last year on my daughter's birthday, July the 10th.
Solid, man.
And it's important that we teach our people, because I was doing a lesson with students at Hart one time, and I noticed that for the average rent on a low scale $1,200 a month, right? You put that in the, you gotta live somewhere for 30 years. You put that in the pot for 30 years. You've paid over $455,000 to someone. You get nothing in return. You can't claim it in your taxes. You can't will it to your kids. You get no equity out of it, and it's just a bad investment.
And once you miss it for like 2-3 months,
oh man,
they're gonna kick you out.
Yeah,
like,
you gone. And so it's important that we start teaching home ownership and business ownership in our community to change the tides of economic growth in our communities.
That's very big. I feel like we got away from that. Like a lot of people, our grandparents, they did a great job. A lot of them paid houses off. I know my grandfather's house paid off and everything. A lot of people get that. They sell it off.
Yeah, seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked is, because I wanted to break about this, man. What's your thoughts of like gentrification in the city, especially on Ward 8? I posted a couple of videos on DMV Hoodz and Newz. Somebody walking through Savannah Terrace, Yeah. And then it was one person somebody riding a bike in the bike lane around 30th, I believe. And the reason, and this like clings to me because I mentioned where I grew up on. I grew up on the 300 block of Elm Street, which is in the Leroy Park neighborhood.
Yeah.
And my neighborhood from Florida Avenue to Elm is completely gone. But only part that's like really African American is WMV, which is like the public housing part of the neighborhood, and like I don't really have no memories now, like because it was a lot of illegal stuff that was going on in the early parts of gentrification, and a lot of stuff that didn't give us the knowledge. So I want to know what can we do, to combat gentrification.
So one of the things we got to do is we got to unify, man. We are in a peculiar place in Washington D.C. where people of color, black, can't afford to be divided, right? This used to be Chocolate City, when we had a population of blacks of around 78%, and now we're at about 47% with the U.S. Census data coming back in a couple of months. And you see the infighting. We have some of the highest health and wealth disparities in the country. In fact, the white wealth compared to the black wealth is at 81% in Washington D.C.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? And that's serious.
What does that really mean? Like
that means for every $1, white people make 81 times that $1 in a district. That's why the area median income in D.C. right now is $121,000 a year for the average family of 4. Well, we know a lot of our families not making that, but because people making $360,000, $1 million a year, it balances that to that number. And we're in a place now where we have diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension, even STDs. You name it, we have it. Right, and so we have to change that tide. I believe that we spend a lot of time indulging in things that's detriment to our health. Right, and I hear and I watch some of the young guys in the music talking about spinning the bin and free cars. But at the end of the day, man, it's what affects one directly affects us all indirectly. If you believe it or not, it's DC too small. And so just seeing the violence and it's time into the community, we can't produce a healthy generation at the rate we are going now. We're dying off. The population is shrinking. And that's really, we're going beyond gentrification. Now we're talking about genocide.
Yeah, fact.
The population is literally shrinking every day.
Yeah, fact.
You're talking about the infant mortality rates in the black community. It's higher than anywhere. And so one of the things we're trying to do is build a state-of-the-art health center in the world. We got one coming to St. Elizabeth East Campus, which is the hospital.
Yeah.
And we have a urgent care facility coming to MLK across the street from the big chair.
That's all right.
Where the Starbucks is,
Yep.
it's going to be one right there. And so we're building out those type of things. We're building 2 new grocery stores in the world on MLK and Gohart Road and one on South Calvin Atlantic, all the way under construction right now. But we're so far behind, we need to unify, use our gifts and talents to build up our community, because the reality is, you look across this table, we the leaders.
Yeah.
Nobody coming to save us but us.
Yeah.
We are the answers we're looking for. A lot of people look to the government, but the answer's in self.
Definitely.
I have a side question on that. What you think we might do to make Ward 8 like similar to like a Ward 2, Ward 3? You know what I'm saying? We have a great academics, like a great economic, so we could prevent gentrification coming in.
Well, one of the things we do as a culture, we are one of the only cultures of people that send our kids to school, and that's the only education they get. Right, we got to create institutions and compartmentalize our own ways to educate our kids in our own community outside of the school system. Yeah. Because there's so much to offer. Like, schools don't teach you how to get good credit, how to buy a home, how to balance a checkbook, how to cook. When I was in middle school, we had home economics.
Really?
Yeah, P.R. Hoodz down Friendship, Miss Beaton. Absolutely, we had wood shop. You know, I went to Phelps too. We had trades, and a lot of that been taken out of the community where we in a place now we're teaching kids how to pass a test. And if you can't pass the test, you're ostracized.
Right.
And that wouldn't have been good for me. Like I did good academically, but I took the SAT 5 times. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do good on standardized tests. And so we got more to offer. Like the word education comes from the words educare and educos. That means to bring forth, to bring out of, right? And we haven't done a good job of bringing all the gifts and talents out of our kids. We're just trying to teach them how to pass the test.
Right.
And we're hurting them.
Which just brings money to other people. It doesn't really put nothing into the kids.
Yeah, we teaching people how to be servants, man, and they never can be maximize their potential because they're trying to enter a workforce. And I do appreciate this time of this pandemic because I've seen more businesses on social media than I've ever seen before, and people are taking advantage of supporting each other. Like this clothing line right here, Law,
shout out to good
Rollo,
shout out to
so
Rollo.
we got to support each other, and even like being this platform right now.
Shout out to the culture.
It's big, right? Because there's so many media outlets to give negative connotations about our people. We got to tell our own stories.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And that's very, very important. So I appreciate you guys for doing this, man. Much respect.
Yeah. So I'm gonna skip over one question and then we can go back to that because it seems like you already on this. So Ward 8 has one grocery store. This has been a big topic.
Man.
You know, working with Martha's Table and things like that. I really, especially over this whole COVID, you had the initiative where you set up with Martha's Table and we're giving away groceries like every day. I was a part of that. Shout out to Martha's Table.
We fed 900 people a day, man.
Yep, 900 people.
You know? Yeah.
The entire COVID, we was out there Monday through Thursday, just W Street. We was everywhere. So like, Ward 8 has one grocery store. Are there plans for additional grocery stores?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we're building one on South Capitol and Atlantic, which is built out already. They doing the inside now, and the one that's going to be on MLK and Gore Road. But I went to Africa in 2016, and I was in a village in Benin/Togo. And I went to this place called Songhai, and we're trying to replicate that village model where we can grow our own. We're agricultural people, right?
Definitely.
And we shouldn't have to solely depend on a grocery store to bring us food. We can grow our own food. And so we're partnering with DC Green's Green Scheme to do a state-of-the-art garden on Valley Avenue, Oxymoron Park. It's going to be a few acres of our approach. It's going to be called The Well, led by Jern Hill Lockridge. And so you're going to see some innovative stuff coming towards. It's just that government moves so slow, man.
I got to give it up for that right there.
Man. Right there, right. It's going to be big, man. We're going to feed our own people.
Amazing.
Like you just spoke of like a lot of different initiatives, STEM and like coming to Ward 8, like those are our kids. Like that's big right there. You don't really hear that a lot in our even in our schools. You know, when I go in schools and I go in certain schools, I may be out Virginia, wherever, and I see they got big screens, they got state of the art, and then you come back to our schools. A lot of our schools,
but you know why? You know why? One of the reasons is that parent participation, man. They got strong PTAs, right? They got friends of, and the friends of got the business community donating to their school. Yeah. Like Duke Ellington, you talking about Wilson, you talking about some of these schools. They got an organization that when they need a teacher, they paying for an extra teacher.
So it's kind of like alumni of HBCUs when they give back to their schools.
Yeah, and they connect to the business community. Right, and we have to replicate that same model in our community because, you know, for most of our schools, elementary school, you see PTA maybe 65%. Yeah. You get to middle school, maybe 40%. High school, 5%, man.
That's crazy.
You go to PTA, there's no parents there.
But you would think at schools like Ballou, like schools that like the heart of the city, Anacott, like schools like that, it would be like the alumni would want to.
Nah, you know, part of the problem, just say this and be real, in our community, we have most of the adults who have kids have more than one. So you may have one in high school, one in middle school. Yeah. You may got 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. And so that's the issue too, because you're a working class, so you got to work and try to provide for those kids. So you're not as present because we have about 81% single parent household in Ward 8, predominantly African American women.
So do you think that goes back to like people? Because one thing I appreciate about you and like also my brother Jimmy. Yeah, y'all shout out to Jimmy. From Southeast. And y'all still in Southeast. Yeah. A lot of people that do work in Southeast, they get in Southeast and they move out and don't think back on that. Just Southeast, Northeast, but wherever they grew up at, a lot of people think, oh, I gotta hurry up and move out, raise my kids, and then don't think about giving back.
And I see that, man. I see that, even in some of my friends, right? Some of us instead of making it out. We went to the struggle. We grew up in the hood. We struggled. And some people feel like they don't want to raise their child in that environment.
Yeah.
And I had to make that decision. I was married before. Right? I told you I was going through a divorce. My ex-wife left and went to Maryland. You know, eventually went to Maryland because she didn't want to be around that violence. I understood that, but I had to stick to my calling. I had no idea I'd be a council member, but I feel like God had really called me to that area. I coached Little League football in the community. Dejon Carson, he's a product of that. I met him when he was 8 years old, and just graduated from Winston-Salem last year, man.
Shout out to you.
Shout out, man. Shout out, man.
He went to H.D. Woodson, but we're forgiven for that,
Oh, man.
But it's a generation of those young men that I had to come back and give back to because
That's
I just didn't
right.
become successful because I was a brilliant young man. Somebody and a few somebodies pulled me up, right? And we have to continue to become a bridge to the next generation because we always talking about them, but they're us. And they're in that situation because we didn't do something right to help them come along. And so I'm indebted to that because I know that God put people in my way to save my life, man. That's real, and I believe that. And so I dedicate my work to being a bridge for those who are behind.
Hey, well, you want the next question, number 7?
All right, yeah, bet. So,
What I got for me, man? Let me see.
in 2017, you introduced legislation to address ticket amnesty. Mayor Bowser just announced a 4-month ticket amnesty program. This is a big win for you and your constituents. Please share your thoughts on how this bill came about.
Oh yeah, man. Well, first of all, I had a lot of tickets too. Yeah,
What?
You know, everybody I knew had tickets, and so I felt like the District of Columbia. When I first got to the council, I noticed we had a surplus. At that time, we had about $300 million surplus. The next year, we had another $400 million surplus. During the pandemic, this past fiscal cycle, we had over $500 million surplus. And so I asked the then city administrator, his name was Rashad Young, I said, is tickets necessary to balance the budget for the DC budget? It's something that we need to keep the budget healthy. And he said no. And I was like, wow, and why are we charging these fees and doubling
and tripling them,
and tripling, you know, and I feel like it was predatory.
It is.
And ironically, when I started writing the bills, I wrote about 4 different bills. One was about creating an avenue where people can do community service instead of paying a fee.
Yeah.
Right? One was about trying to figure out how do we stop doubling? Because doubling is supposed to incentivize people to pay earlier.
Yeah.
And the data reflects that it doesn't incentivize anybody to pay earlier.
At all.
It don't.
And most people don't have an extra $300, $900 a month to put into the DC government that's already up. You know, up. You know, and I figured that we can do something with the council to try to create leverage. So I talked to the mayor last Thursday on a Zoom call, and she said she was going to do it because she said she was going to do it in December and April, but the pandemic hit, she didn't do it. So when I got on the call, I was like, are you going to do it? She said, yeah, we're working on it. I'm like, all right, here we go, we're working on it. But she honored the word and she did it. So shout out to Mayor Muriel Bowser for honoring the word and doing that. Yeah. And we have some more reforms coming as well as regards to ticket amnesty.
That's all right.
Appreciate it.
So,
Can we ask the last question?
Man.
Because he touched on the other.
We got 2.
And I know you get this all the time.
Number 9.
You know, so you want to get the number 9?
Yeah.
All the time.
You chair the committee on recreation, libraries, and youth affairs. Are there plans for renovation or building more recreation centers in your ward? You kind of touched on
He
it.
kind of touched on it already. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And one thing we think about recs, we think about a building, you know, somewhere for the kids to do. But I know for me, I met some of the greatest people in my life because I was in a structured environment where I met mentors like Ronaldo Gillis, James Mason, Coach Money, Coach Darius, and these coaches was life-changing to help me get to where I am. Coach Bucky to where I am today, Coach Bill. And I think that we're in a space now where we can create career-based mentors through these vehicles, right? And we got, you know, DC is not in the middle of Iowa or Oklahoma. We have a lot of athletes here. We have a lot of artists here. We can create studios so the guys get off the streets and young ladies can have activities too.
Shout out to the culture.
And I think that we are missing a lot of that because some of the recreation centers have been removed. And so we are partnering with a lot of for-profit companies to ensure that we have a wide range of activities for youth and young adults to do. Even our seniors. We're talking about youth, but our seniors take advantage of a lot of activities inside the recs too. They swim a lot. I don't know if you all know, water aerobics is big for our seniors in the district. And so we're trying to create avenues for them to do stuff too. And just a place for people to congregate, to get off the streets because, you know, if we don't build something constructive for people to do, we lead them to do stuff destructive. then we complain about it and we lock them up at mass rates. And one of the things you said that I want to speak on before I skip over was, how did we get to this state? And we got there because one of the things is mass incarceration crippled our city.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Mass incarceration crippled DC, where we removed the heads of the household and we wonder why the body is malfunctioning, right? There are a large population of people that went to jail, even that died in the 80s and 90s. We never fully recovered from the crack epidemic that crippled Washington, DC.
Vietnam War, all of that went hand in hand together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facts.
So, but before we get to the last question, I don't want to skip over this because I know one thing I've always appreciated about you, you never forgot about a certain population. Wherever you at or whenever you speak, you always speak about the senior citizens. Yeah. So I'd be crazy if I didn't bring this up to you. So like, what's the importance of the senior citizen to you, and like, what do they mean to you? Like, why are you so big?
Well, first I was raised by my mom and my grandma, and I think that, so those who know my story, my grandmother seen me transition from being a knucklehead to being, a disciplined student and being serious about my academics. And I remember when I went from PR, I was telling my cousin this story today because I was going to PR Hoodz. I missed 20-some days of school. I think I missed at least 50-some days of school, but I missed the last 2 months of school, right? And I was getting passed to the 9th grade. Because, when I went to PR Hoodz, we went to pre-K to 9th. I got my report card and it said pass. I was mad because they passed me. I wanted to go to summer school. That's how reprobate my mind was.
Yeah, wow.
I wanted to go to summer. I was mad when they passed
summer
me.
School.
I said, I'm not trying to go to high school. I'm trying to go to summer school. I haven't seen no girls in a while. I'm trying to turn up for the summer. I'm trying to have a good time.
Summer school was lit.
And I ended up going to high school, and I read this book, right, by Jawanta Kanjufu. It was called Countering a Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And it changed my life. And that book gave me some motivation and self-esteem that allowed me to have the ability to think that I can achieve. I went from a 1.2 GPA to eventually a 4.1 GPA. And my grandmother saw that, right? And I was able to give her hope in her last days. I went to college. She died my freshman year of college. And so seniors have always had a special place. To Grandma E, to Ike Foster, seniors always had a special place in my life because they got us where we are today.
Definitely.
And they roll over in their grave to see we out here shooting and killing each other. And what's it called? Drill music. This craziness, man.
Bringing that to DC. It's like a Chicago feeling.
Yeah, and it's sad that what are we becoming as a culture when we perpetuate. Because reality is we delight in what God hates, man. And we should be loving each other and encouraging each other and building with each other. But we take pleasure in tearing each other down.
Definitely. And scenes are big, back when we first started back in Africa, even the United States. Don't let them fool you. We were melanated people in the United States. Yeah. Everywhere we were, it started from the scenes, the griots. They always give knowledge down to the youngest. They passed that. And it wasn't always just textbooks and everything. They would pass the knowledge down. So that's big right there. Yeah. Who want to tackle that last question right there? That's a big question.
And I know you get this all the time.
All the time.
I know you get it all the time. Do you have plans on being the mayor of Washington?
Oh, man.
Running for the mayor.
Running for the mayor.
Yeah.
Being a councilman award ain't one of the hardest things I ever did, man. It's a catch-22. It's almost damn if you do, damn if you don't, and the weight is so heavy. So I always pride myself in trying to be humble and obedient to whoever God has me, my path God has me on. It may sound cliche, but it's real as I ever seen it before. And I really do that. I had no ambition to become a council member, right? But I believe in going along the path that God has for me, and I've been able to be obedient in the small things, and He be able to bless me to do more. Right. And so I'm not perfect by far, but it's some things that I want to see happen in my city, and I think that at some point I want to go across the city to do more. Is that at large? Is that the mayor? Is that being a philanthropist? I don't know, but I'm just trying to be a good council member right now. Right. So that's why I'm in my space right now.
Right now, that's what you're focused on.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's solid right there, man.
Definitely. You do so much for the city, at least at large, man. I'd love to see that. Yeah.
I'm going to be calling y'all if I go at large.
Call anytime. Anytime.
DC's changed so much. It's not what it used to be, and so it's going to take us to really rally the troops to do something like that because some people in our population don't vote, right? Right. And I remember one election that Mayor Bowers was in 2018. 6% of the population of Ward 8 came out to vote. 6%. So.
That's crazy because this last campaign I was blessed to be able to help you with that line. It was raining outside.
We don't play.
And that line, it was raining outside, y'all. And that line was down the block, twisted, turning.
Yeah.
And straight, bro, more than 6% coming out.
Oh, nah, we gonna
look, it was buses pulling.
We got the grandmas coming, the unks. We bringing everybody.
And the wheelchairs, all that. Had waters for all of them. Had Jimmy on the blowhorn going crazy. It was,
man. The love my city showed me is real, man. I'm forever indebted to ensuring that I create opportunity for somebody that somebody did it for me, man. So yeah, absolutely. I thank everyone who voted for me, even the ones who didn't vote for me. You know, I'm still a leader in DC, so I have to represent them as well. So it all is a part of my story.
Yep. So man, coming up, man, we got something big, man. We got the state of DC coming up. Y'all gonna see what's gonna happen with that. So yeah.
Nah, definitely, man. Any shout out? Anything you want?
Yeah, that's you just put me on the spot with that.
Yeah. That's how we wrap it up.
Yeah, but shout out to DMV Hoodz and Newz, man. You all doing a remarkable job of creating a positive platform. Not everything is positive.
Not everything. I was saying, like,
some stuff, man. I had to hit you in the DM, man. What's going on? Hey, Don, what's going on? So I just think that, more importantly, there are a lot of people in the district that's doing great things, and you're able to highlight that because we have to be able to toot our own horn and encourage people on their journeys, man. I think that we don't do that enough. We come up in the culture where we Joan, you know what I'm saying? Where it's cool to Joan, but the reality is we need to encourage each other more and uplift each other more.
Yep.
And I think that, we are getting there. So I'm excited to be on this platform today, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely appreciate it, man.
Shout
out to you, Trayon, man. That's the only place I can shout out. Shout out to Trayon.
Yeah, man. This is a beautiful studio too, man.
Yeah, shout out to broadcast media, man.
Broadcast media, man.
It's definitely professional, man. All the guys is here. I want to say ladies too, but I don't know who in the back. But I gotta be inclusive, you know.
So my shout out, man. I want to shout out my good man Goopy Dre. That's his rap name. That's his name. He's from Chevy. Shout out to my good man Chevy, like my second home, man. Shout out to the good Chevy, man. I got on his clothes and wear right now, Nice little sweatsuit, real sweet.
Okay.
Yep. It's GT Gear. It's urban street clothing brand from the Landover area. The brand represents the struggle of turning nothing into something and a negative into a positive. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the good man has a movie dropping this summer.
Oh,
and he also has a mixtape dropping June 8th. So the good man is a great entrepreneur, man. So shout out to Dre, man.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to HeroT.com, man. Definitely shout out to HeroT.com. No, that's right. This right here, somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of our sponsors. There they go. They're on the screen right now. So shout out to HeroT.com. Y'all see it on the screen. That's a nice looking young lady right there.
Yeah, she's good.
But nah. Hey, man, shout out Humble Beast. That's who gave us the keychains and all that.
Beast right there.
Man, shout out my dog Big Nito Bands. He the one that linked me with him. Shout out All Days, man. I ran into All Days. I ran into Kurt earlier.
Kurt Bone, man.
Shout out All Days. They don't have a brick and mortar right now. But they still run. I need to tell him about the culture so he can get.
Yeah, man. Cool. Shout out the culture.
I need to link him up. Once again, I'm gonna be looking sweet my All Days next week. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Straight up.
I was trying to get one though. I thought All Days look out for the big guys.
They got the big boy size for y'all.
But they had what I was looking for my size though. But he said he got me though. He said he gonna push up. So he got something for it.
He figured something out.
Yeah, he definitely.
Nah, definitely, man. But nah, we're gonna close this out, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man. It's your boy DMV Hoodz and Newz, and we are gone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, happy birthday to Giselle.
Big Ghost. We had a gift for her too.
Shout out to Giselle,
we definitely had a gift for her.
Yeah.
Y'all got trash on the comments.
Yeah, facts though, man. It's your boy DMV Hoodz and Newz. This is Hoodz and Newz show, and we are gone.
Hey, this is Trayon White, council member of the Great Ward 8, giving you the state of DC. So some of the topics I'm going to close out with is economic empowerment. DC is in a place where we're building a lot of buildings, a lot of restaurants, a lot of opportunities, but more importantly, we need to figure out a way to build on the people because the people make up DC. We are doing what is known as a DC comp plan. It's the comprehensive plan that's going to create the land use for the district for the next 5 to 10 years to say, is it going to be high density, medium density, residential, or commercial? So make sure you're paying attention and go to dccouncil.us to get more information. Education is information, but apply information information is power. And so we must ensure that we encourage each other each and every day by giving news and information on how we can and support and empower each other. I see a lot of new clothing brands coming up in Washington, D.C. I see a lot of new businesses coming up during the pandemic on social media, so make sure we support each other. One thing about the district right now, we are in a housing crisis, meaning that the gap is widening between the have and the have-nots. I mean, the rich are getting richer, and the poor is getting poorer. So we have to figure out a way to create economic empowerment and inclusion. So one of the things I'm working on is called displacement-free zones. It's designed to freeze the taxes in and around areas hardest hit by development to ensure that the indigenous people of Washington, D.C. not only can stay here, but grow their families here. And for those who may be struggling on the pandemic to get their bills paid, make sure you go to staydc.dc.gov to get more information on how to get your bills paid going back at least 15 months. That's very important that we encourage you to find financial resources during this pandemic. This is our DC. Don't just stand there. Do something.